Morning, everybody. Welcome back to Mr. Simmler's baking class. It's Easter weekend, and I'm stuck at home. Can't see my family for Easter. Hopefully you're with yours. But one of the traditions my mom always had was making Easter bread, and she shared me a picture of her making it yesterday. I won't be getting any because I won't see them, so I figured let's make our own. How hard can it be? So I found a recipe online. This is my first time making it, so hopefully it won't be a disaster. I had all the ingredients at home, so lucky me. So today I'm going to teach you and teach me how to make some Easter bread. So here are the ingredients that you're going to need to make your Easter bread. You need some flour, salt, sugar, package of yeast, some milk, some powdered sugar, sprinkles is the only one I had, so it's holiday sprinkles, but it's a holiday, right? Butter, and eggs. Alright, you're going to need a lot of stuff. Let's see how we mix it together. Alright, so I got my recipe on my tablet there so we can follow it along. The first thing is 2/3 cup of milk. So I get my measuring cup, and if you look on the side there, it's got, oh, wrong side. It's got it all marked out for you. So you're going to put your milk up to the 2/3, which is that line up there. Alright, so let's get our milk. I'm here by myself today, so it's a one-man camera. We're going to fill it all the way to the 2/3 line. Alright, and we're going to add that right into our mixing bowl. Alright, the next ingredient that you add in is your yeast. It's asking for 2 teaspoons. So I get my teaspoon. Again, it's the TSP. You're going to get 2 of those and add it into the milk. So again, I'm going to try to do this one-handed. I'm going to fill it right to the top. Right to the line. Like so. Even it out. One of those. And you're going to do that again and add another one to that, which I'm not going to do right now, but I'll come back and show you what happens after that. Alright, so I got my 2 teaspoons of yeast and my 2/3 cup of milk. I want you to kind of mix it together. And then you're going to let it sit for 5 minutes. Alright, so once you got that all mixed, instructions say let it sit 5 minutes. Alright, so while we're waiting for our yeast and milk to sit for 5 minutes, I'm going to move on to the next step, which is mixing some of the dry ingredients together. So the first step is asking to add the butter, flour, sugar, and salt all together. So let's start with the flour. It's asking for 2.5 cups of flour. Now, I got my cup, but I don't have a half cup, but I have a 1/4 cup. How many of these will I need to make a half cup? 2? Yes. So I'll need 2 of the cups, 2 of the 1/4 cups, so 2 quarters will make a half, and all of that is going to go right inside the bowl. Remember, when you get your cups out, you make it so it's level to the top. You don't want it to go too under or too over. It's asking for a cup, so a cup has to be level right to the top of the cup before you add it in. And this will be my last one. My 2.5 cups of flour in the bowl. The next thing is going to be the sugar, which is asking for a 1/4 cup. So I already got my 1/4 cup here. Let me go grab the sugar, and we'll throw it in. Okay, I got my 1/4 cup of sugar. Going to add it right on top of the flour. The next thing is salt, which is asking for 1 teaspoon. So I go back over here, grab my teaspoon. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. Alright, I got my 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to add that to the mix. The last thing is the butter. It's asking for 2 tablespoons. So if you remember last time I showed you, the butter stick actually has it all. Of course, it's not going to be focused for you. Has everything labeled for you. So if you need 2 tablespoons, you're actually going to cut it. Let me get my knife here. See, there's 1, there's 2 right there. So you're going to need 2 tablespoons. You're going to cut the butter right there. They make it very simple for you. Alright, so that's going to get added into there too. I'm going to soften it up a little bit. It's kind of, it was in the fridge. So you can stick it in the microwave for about like 10 seconds. Then I'm going to add it to there. Alright, so now I got my bowl with my dry ingredients and my butter. I got my bowl with the milk and yeast. It's been sitting for 5 minutes. You're going to add this to that. You're going to use your electric mixer. And you're going to mix it all together. And then we'll see how that goes. Kind of swirl it around so you can get all the yeast out of there. I'm going to dump it right into there. Okay. I'm going to grab my mixer. I'll just put it on low. See, mine here has different settings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll put it on low. Let's mix that around, and I'll let you know how it turns out in a second. So I mixed it all up. It kind of looks like that. Still looks a little dry. But the next thing you do is add 2 eggs. So you're going to add 2 eggs to the mixture. Again, I've become the expert of one-handed egging, so let me see. 1 and 2 eggs. Alright, you add 2 eggs into it, and you're going to mix it again until some sort of dough forms. Alright, so let me give that a whirl. See how it turns out. So once I added the eggs and I blended it up a little bit, I got this ball here. Let's come a chunk of butter in there still. You're gonna get a floured surface. So I just sprinkled a little bit of flour here on my counter, and it says you're gonna knead the dough. So when I say knead the dough, you're just gonna, and it's gonna really kind of be hard to do with one hand. Kind of roll around the flour and just gonna kind of massage the dough. All right, I'm gonna use 2 hands in a minute, but you get the point. You're going to knead it just like this and just keep going and going and going. It says for about 5 minutes. Alright, so you're going to knead the dough for about 5 minutes on your floured surface, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so about 5 minutes of kneading, I get this round ball of dough. Now this is going to sound like the pizza because you're going to do the same thing. It's got that yeast in it. The yeast is going to make the dough rise and double in size. So you're going to take that ball of dough that you've kneaded, stick it in a bowl, and you're going to cover it with a damp cloth. So I just got a cloth, ran it over the faucet for a little bit, and you're going to cover the bowl with a damp cloth. The instructions say leave it in a warm area for about an hour. Alright, so this is going to rise for about an hour. I'm going to stick it somewhere warm, and then we'll come back and see how well the dough rised. Alright, so my dough's been sitting for about an hour. It looks a little bigger. Guess we'll find out. The instructions say you're going to roll it onto a floured surface again. Alright, so I got my floured surface over here. I'm going to roll the dough around into the floured surface. And then you're going to divide it into 2 pieces. Alright, so you're going to take this ball, cut it in half, and you're going to make 2 long ropes out of it. Alright, so let me knead this for a little bit. I'll cut it in half, and then we'll see how that turns out. So my dough is cut in half. Now just like roll it to 2 long, again it's kind of hard to do with one hand, but you're going to roll each one into 2 long ropes. Alright, so try to spread it out on your floured surface. Give me a second and I'll try out and see how it goes. Alright, so there are my 2 long braids I made of my 2 halves of dough. Before I move on to that, I'm going to preheat my oven. So if you remember, you're going to preheat to about 350, just so it's ready when we're done. Now the next step is something I've never done before, is braiding this. So I'm assuming, and again I can't do this with one hand, is twisting the bread around. Now I'm going to see what they have online to do this. I would love to show you how I'm going to do it, but let's see how my final result will end up after I try this. Hold on. Alright, this by no means is the way it's supposed to look, but I tried for like 15 minutes. Mom, I give you lots of credit because this braiding process was, whew. Anyway, I kind of got it braided together and then, I don't know, it kind of fell apart at the end. But anyway, I'm going to bake it in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes on 350. I'll show you what we're going to do for the icing that goes on top while that's baking. Let's hope this turns out, alright? Alright, so while the bread's in the oven, you're going to make your glaze for your top of your Easter bread. It's only these 2 ingredients. One is 2 cups of powdered sugar, 2 tablespoons of milk. You mix it together, forms a sort of a paste. All right, so let's do this step by step. I'll start with the powdered sugar. All right, so the first thing is 2 cups of powdered sugar. I already put 1 in. Here's my second one. I'm going to put it right on top. And then you're going to add 2 tablespoons of milk to that. So I got my tablespoon. I got my milk. I'm not even going to try to do this with 1 hand. So I'm going to add 2 of these into that. We'll mix it up and we'll see how that forms. Alright, so once you mix the powdered sugar and the milk together, you get a thick kind of a paste that looks like that. So once we're done with the Easter bread cooking, we're going to drizzle this on top of the bread, put some sprinkles, and that should make that stuff real good. Alright, so my oven just beeped. Looks like the bread is done. Alright, so I'm just going to get a towel, pull it out so I don't burn my hands. Oh, ouch. Doesn't look so bad, considering it's my first time. I'm going to transfer that into this wire rack and let it cool for a little bit, and then we'll move on to the glazing part. Alright, my bread is cooled down. Now I'm going to drizzle the icing on top. So, this part, I'm just going to get a spoonful. Let's see if I can do this. And just sprinkle it all over the bread. Alright, now you know me. I'm going to go a little crazy with this. So, drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. As much as you want. I want a lot. Alright, when you're done with that stage, the only thing you gotta do left is get your sprinkles. Again, I have holiday sprinkles from Christmas time, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And you're gonna sprinkle them right on top. Easy enough, right? Looks pretty good. So you're gonna let this cool down, and then we'll try it out. Alright, so there you have it, Easter bread. That wasn't so bad. Hope you guys all have a happy Easter. You enjoy your spring break. I'll be here at home eating all this great food. And I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Happy Easter.
Easter bonnet with all the frills upon it.